Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. Tonight, I am going to be taking a first look at Legion of War. This is a new trading card game which is going to be hitting Kickstarter in May, actually on May 1st. So come on in, pull up a chair. Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. Yes, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of The Gaming Gang, and we are actually in our 10th year covering tabletop gaming, so pretty cool, pretty cool. So tonight is Monday, April 20th, 2020. This is episode 473 of The Daily Dope. Of course, if this is your first time tuning in, do want to mention normally I would be sharing the latest in tabletop gaming news. Every once in a while we do a little pop culture stuff, PC game stuff, things like that, but for the vast majority of the time it is tabletop gaming news. But with the current pandemic going on, the news is kind of little spurts here and there. So what I've been doing is kind of sharing some unboxings, some first looks, some page throughs, some playthroughs as well, kind of blow off a little steam, kick back and have some fun. Got some reviews on the way as well, which are part of the show also. Do also want to point out that this is not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. So this is very, very casual. I just kind of kick back, have some fun. Hopefully those of you watching live and after the fact, maybe on Memorex, are having some fun as well. So also want to point out, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Tell your friends as well. Be sure to subscribe. If you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that little bell, because it will notify you not only when the Daily Dope streams live Mondays through Thursdays right here on YouTube, but it'll also tell you when I upload standalone videos as well. So there's that to look forward to also. Anyway, also want to tell you, if you're watching live, there is chat available here on YouTube. I do my best to pay attention to chat. Sometimes it zips by pretty quickly, so I do my best. But if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, or maybe there's something about Legion of War that you want to ask. Not that I know a ton about this yet. This just showed up today. This is hours fresh. I think I've had these about 2 hours so far, but we're gonna dig in. We're gonna take a quick peek. Anyway, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So tonight we have so far in chat John Vogel. Good to see you, John. The Madman is hanging out as per usual when it's not gaming night. We always know we've got the Madman to look forward to. Viper Dave, Dan from No Enemies here. Nice to see you, Dan. Robert Carroll is in chat as well. I believe Robert is a first-timer here in chat with us. I believe. Might be wrong. Pretty sure. Pretty sure I'm correct on that. Anyway, so as I mentioned, we are going to dig on into a couple of decks as well as a booster, which Eclectic Nerds has sent me for Legion of War. We're going to take a peek at those in just a few moments. Do want to point out a few different things. Before we get started, I just want to say a big thank you to folks out there who are doing everything they can to keep us safe and keep us fed and fueled up during this pandemic. So a big thank you to all the doctors and nurses, EMTs, firefighters, police officers, gas station attendants, truck drivers, fast food restaurant employees, grocery store employees. Those folks are getting sick. Yeah, that's not good. But for all of those folks out there who are really laying it on the line to help us out, I have a big, big thank you to all of you out there. Thank you so very much. Coming up this week on the Daily Dope, tomorrow I am going to finally review The Crew. Was going to do a standalone video, and then all these different things have been going on. I've been working on doing the remote Call of Cthulhu adventure, which I will talk about in a couple of moments. But I'm going to do the review on the Daily Dope. So that'll be on tomorrow's show. Wednesday, we're going to have a special treat. Not only am I going to review Tiny Town's Fortune and tell you how you can score yourself a copy of this as well. I have a giveaway. I have a single giveaway copy. I'm also going to have an interview with Stephen Bonacore, my pal. Stephen Bonacore from Stronghold Games. We've got some Kickstarter action going on. And then Thursday, I will be reviewing and paging through City of Brass, which is, let's do it like that, give it a little more space, right? Which is from Frog God Games. It is for Swords and Wizardry. Yeah. Oh, we got a lot of stuff cooking. A bunch of things going on. Flaming Heron has just popped into chat. Good to see you, Flaming Heron. So if you've been following the show, you know I have been talking about how I was going to remotely run a game of Call of Cthulhu, hopefully multiple games of Call of Cthulhu, for my best friend Elliot Miller, as well as my nephew Cameron and his girlfriend Lexi. And now we have Elliot's son Brian wants to be involved as well. So we're going to bring him in after we finish up this first adventure. So I was using Fantasy Grounds, which I really don't know a whole lot about. I'm one of these people it's like, yeah, I know about enough about the operation of Fantasy Grounds just to make me dangerous. Is pretty much how it works. But we did have an opportunity yesterday to play the first part of The Haunting, which those of you who are familiar with Call of Cthulhu will remember this adventure as The Haunted House. But it is changed, the title has been changed for 7th edition, and it's called The Haunting. Now, this adventure is nearly 40 years old and has been in almost every single core book for Call of Cthulhu. Now it's in the quick start rules. So I recorded it. I don't know how entertaining it is, but I'll tell you what, I am going to share, it's about 2 minutes of the gameplay, just to show you what it looked like, because it actually looks pretty cool with Fantasy Grounds, and I've got the little video windows of everybody. But let me share this. Like I said, it's only a couple of minutes long, and I would love for people to either comment in chat or comment on the video if you would like to actually see the gameplay, the actual gameplay. I'm not going to force it down anybody's throats, and it is not like I have to admit I was probably off my game a little bit because I was so focused on trying to make sure that I was doing Fantasy Grounds right and the videos were working right. So I was a little bit distracted. I gotta say, running a role-playing game remotely is a little bit different. It is a little bit different. So there's that. Anyway, let's take a peek at the vid.
Alrighty.
It's interesting.
So he fell ill after completing his house in spring?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we find anything else?
Yep. You did. Bing. Elliot.
Oh, whoa.
What haunts the house on Chatham Street? Monday, October 8th, 1918. Do not print. The editor says we will end up with a damn lawsuit on our hand. copy editor. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Something sinister seems to haunt a local Boston house. Whatever it is has destroyed 3 families in the last 40 years. The 2-story house at 31 Chatham Street has been the site of fear, madness, death, and possibly murder since before the turn of the century. In 1880, a family of French immigrants by the name of Ledoux rented the property and moved in. What horrors happened to those people that year will never be known, save that a series of violent attacks of some kind left both parents dead and their 3 children crippled for life. The house stood vacant for almost 20 years, but in 1909, another family moved in. From the time they moved into the house, Mr. and Mrs. Jones fell prey to illness and sickness, almost as if the house itself were conspiring against them. Their children did not fare much better, though all of them lived in the house for several years. The terror reached a head when, in 1914, the oldest of the Jones children went mad and killed himself with a kitchen knife. The Jones family moved out after that, heartbroken at their loss. A third family rented the house in 1917, but left after less than a month when all of them became ill at the same time. Is the house haunted? Perhaps there is something wrong with the water, or some disease still lingers there from when it was built. In any case, anyone who dares live there now had better be brave and strong, or they take their lives into their own hands. J.R.
So this illness seems to be a reoccurring thing.
I wonder.
And this
I'm
was from
thinking
1980.
probably, yeah, this is, well, last 3 years. So,
All right, so there's just a little teaser of the live play for Call of Cthulhu through Fantasy Grounds, utilizing, I don't know, probably like 25% of the capability of it. But we had fun. We had a good time. So if you'd like to see that, yeah, just comment and chat. Like I said, it's not something that I'm going to be like, oh, hey, everybody, check out our live play, you know, what have you. So, anyway, I see that the Madman mentions that, yes, running a role-playing game remotely is quite different. Definitely different. It is. It's kind of weird, especially when I was using Fantasy Grounds. And of course, I've got the videos there, which once I set everything up, I actually really rarely saw what was going on the videos, on the little cams, basically, or what they were. So for the most part, I was staring at Fantasy Grounds. So yeah, it's a little harder for you to make that like contact with the players. Anyway, I see Brandon C. Adams is in chat. I'm sure Brandon's hanging out because we are going to be looking at Legion of War in just a moment. So Flaming Heron said, yeah, a lot of reading in that portion. Well, I have to point out, I don't have everything rendered for the like 2.5 hour game session that or 2.5 hours of the recording. So I just wanted to float that out there. So Flaming Heron's always got a bitch about something, right? Know it all, why I oughta. All right. Anyway, moving right along. So let's jump on in. As I mentioned, we are going to be taking a look at Legion of War. I will announce my winners of the Warhammer 40K roleplay Wrath and Glory PDFs at the end of the show. I want to point that out in case people are hanging around to find out who's the winner, who are the 2 winners, I should say. I will announce that at the end of the show. All right. So the Madman also points out, as a GM, you need 2 monitors. Problem with that is the software I use to do this stream. I have to pull the actual video and the cam, as well as have Fantasy Grounds. So I understand where you'd be like, yeah, I can see the two monitors because, funny enough, Elliot had two monitors set up. That's why you saw him reading off, looking off to the side. But for me to include all of that in that video, it all has to be on one monitor. So anyway, yeah, it's because I'm actually capturing, I'm grabbing different spots on that monitor and plugging them in. So Gem Extraordinaire says, play me here on. Oh, your modesty. Oh my goodness. So we've got Matrix WPFS in chat as well. I believe that is the first time we have seen them visit. So welcome aboard. Thanks for hanging out. All right. Anyway, as I mentioned, we're going to take a first look at Legion of War, which is from Eclectic Nerds. The game is for 2 to 8 players for ages 13 and up. It does play in 30 minutes to 2 hours. That's going to be depending on your player count. This is a trading card game. I like to always say collectible card game, but, you know, Wizards of the Coast gets upset by that, seeing that they own the copyright. But I can say it. Card game. Anyway, Legion of War is coming to Kickstarter on May 1st. So, the fine folks over at Eclectic Nerds did send me a couple of dual decks, I believe they are, as well as a booster. So let's swing on over to the other camera. Boom, here we go. Got them right here. So I am going to jump on in. So we've got Brandon hanging out in chat. So I'll be the first to point out, I don't know the rules or anything for this game. As I mentioned, these just showed up in the mail today. And if you have been visiting thegaminggang.com over the past few days, you do see we have some advertising that is counting down to the Kickstarter launch. But I am not familiar with this game. So we're going to jump on in and we're going to take a look. As I mentioned, I believe we've got 2 dual decks. And overall, and of course, I'm sure Brandon's going to correct me in chat if I'm wrong, which he'll be doing that, correcting me a lot, I'm sure. There are 8 factions to start off with in the game. I believe there's 200 cards that have already been completed. And there, as I mentioned, there are 8 different factions. That's why you can have 2 to 8 players, each player running their own faction. So we do notice that we've got some placeholder art here as well. So these are, I'm sure the card stock is pretty much what we're going to experience in the game, but it looks like we've got some placeholder art because, as I mentioned, this is coming to Kickstarter on May 1st. So I actually did take my hobby knife and slash these open. I wouldn't have to sit here struggling with it on camera. So Brandon mentions, yes, it's a 200 card set, and some of the artwork is still pending on some of the cards. So here, I believe these are like the leaders. Well, it says right there, leader. So Premier Zoff. The artwork is not on the card, although I gotta point out, I am pretty sure that the artwork for that commander is on the website. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm talking out of my, But I'm pretty sure that I saw the artwork for Premier Zoff. All right, let's take a look at one of the decks. Let's zoom on in a little bit. We'll get a little better look here. I'm gonna center these up. So Brandon has mentioned, yes, all the leader art is done. Let's make sure that we've got everything in focus here. So we've got Chancellor Lockwood, who looks suspiciously like a German from World War II. I won't say what the fascist nation that was. So we see that we've got, it's a leader. You see right here, it's like if this is eliminated, if you lose this card, then you're going to lose the game. So I do see we've got these different values here. I'm not sure if these are morale values or if these are kind of like hit points almost. So we've got, there's our leader. So we're going to have the leader for that faction here. I also see it says plus 19 morale. I can't use a specific 3-letter word, so we'll say turning cards. I'm going to take a guess that maybe if you turn 2 of your cards, like say activate your cards so that they don't get to use whatever special effect that they have or special ability they have, if you activate them, if you turn 2 of them, you get to draw 2 cards for loyalty. 5 is nuclear bombs. So, oh, countdown timers. There we go. Okay, cool. I was kind of curious. I do see this. And then we have biofuel research farms, Fermi energy plants, right, and oil fields. So these are locales. These are areas that are going to, no doubt, make up your battlefield, the various different territories. Brandon, you can tell us if we're effectively just battling over these for these territories, but maybe they're worth victory points. Right, then we've got let's see. Actually, this is pretty cool artwork on these. Cardstock is pretty nice, pretty solid cardstock. Of course, with any deck building game or trading card game, any sort of card game you're going to use a lot is you're going to want to go grab some card sleeves for these as well. So Brandon mentions to win, you have to have the last leader standing. All right. Last man or woman standing wins. The nuclear Armageddon, so we've got a few of these. I believe you utilize a 65 card deck, and you may not have more than 4 copies of any particular card. I take a guess, because this is a trading card game, we're going to have rarities that come into play as well. I do believe that we are going to see some dual boxes which contain a couple of factions. I don't know how many of those are going to be available, if they're going to have it broken out where you've got 4 different sets with 2 factions each. So that is all, I'm sure, coming with the Kickstarter as well. So we've got Nuclear Armageddon, nuke them till they glow, as we used to chant when we were playing the classic Nuclear War from good old Flying Buffalo games. So we've got Satellite Recon. So this is an intel card. This is a weapon of mass destruction card, I noticed. Goliath 65. I'm taking a guess, maybe this is an armored unit. But it does say force on the card. So I'm going to take a guess at these would be probably some sort of armored unit. So according to Brandon, 4 dual decks will be available on the Kickstarter on May 1st. Here we go. So you have to destroy all territories, have no morale, or have no more cards to draw. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so we got a drilling engineer. So this looks like this is a character, John Ryder. Also a force card as well. TX6 aircraft, maybe. Another character here. There's a lot of placeholder art I notice here. So right here, oops, we've got 2 of those. 2 cards for Nathan Smith. Panther R2. Well, I'm gonna take a wild stab at that would be armor. Certainly be. Okay, so there's 4 of those. SR-34I, another force card. Oh, so this is an aircraft. It says air chopper. Yeah, I guess if I just take a peek here, it does tell us it's an army. It's a tank for your army. Okay. X6 Scorpion, an anti-air weapon. So surface to air is my guess. There is a bit of a science fiction vibe to it. I guess we'll say maybe like near future kind of vibe, as you can, obviously see from the various different types of units here that really don't exist in the real world. Well, got some Navy subs. Hey, cool! Finally getting some Navy units. Nice. We got some bombers, the Night Eagle. Got those. So, this card can't block, and its damage can only be given to cards that can take permanent damage. Here we go. Finally got some artwork again. There we go. Some tigers. So these are tanks. It says Blitz. If a card that blocks this card is eliminated in battle, excess attack damage bypasses that card. Almost like a Blitzkrieg. So. Titan 4 missile silo. It's an undisclosed location. It's in Kansas. Advanced detonation facility. Okay. These here. Oh, here we go. We've got interrogation facility. That's pretty. Huh. 3 of those. Well, I can tell you right now, we've got more than 65 cards in the deck. So you can pick and choose from these to make up your 65 card deck. And then, of course, you're looking at, I'm kind of curious. If there's more players, are there fewer cards in the deck, Brandon? Kind of curious about that. So 25 cards are resource cards. Okay. We have Freezing Rainstorm. We have a Terrifying Storm, so we've got some weather right here. So Brandon says, nope, everybody's got 65 cards. Okay, cool. Cut corners. All right. There you go. Minus morale, -4 morale. There's a specific non-leader card with a countdown timer on it. Has that timer decreased by 1. Cutting corners, but it costs you morale. Visit from our leader. That's a morale booster right there. So we've got a couple of those. Food product. Oh, that apple looks similar to something I've seen somewhere. So we've got food products. We've got power products. A few of these. We've got fuel. Got a few of these as well. Then we've got equipment. Quite a few of those. And then finally, we've got generic products. I'm taking a stab in the dark that you're going to be using these to purchase various different cards that you have in hand, bringing them out. That'd be my guess that these are your resources that you're going to utilize. Look, yeah, because here we see these icons. So 1 generic, 1 fuel, and 1 equipment. A stab. So we've got a question. Hey, there we go. There you go, Matrix. Hit Brandon up. Ask, ask away. So, I'm gonna have to get a hold of the rules because I was kind of surprised I didn't. There wasn't a copy of the rules in the box. So I believe I got to download those. Okay, so let's take a quick peek at these, and then we'll take a look at what we get in the booster. It's 15 card booster pack here. All right, so we've got the Premier, who he's mysterious. We don't even have an image of him. So yes, the rules are on the website. At the Fermi Energy Plants, Pons Research Centers, Wolf Power District, St. Purcell Harbor. So these are our territories that we've got. There we go. We got a mech. Nice. Pretty expensive to build this, though, it looks like. So, let's see. What is this? 3 generic. I think, were those energy? May have been energy. And then equipment. Bring those into play. The website is legionofwar.com. If you go visit thegaminggang.com, it's impossible to miss it. It really is. But the website to get a preview is legionofwar.com. And of course, when this hits Kickstarter, I will have a review video that you will probably see in the Kickstarter. So, unless I say, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible," I doubt that very highly. This looks pretty cool. This looks very, very cool. Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't there like multiple ways for you to play Legion of War? That I guess maybe we'll say like there's different difficulty levels as far as playing it. I thought that was something that I ran across. So we've got some military headquarters. So these are buildings. XTT, armored personnel carriers. There we go. We got 4 of these. We've got another character. So we got Sergeant Vladimir Orlov. There's one format, but there are 3 ways to enable attacking a leader. Okay, cool. Got these. So the question I would have, okay, so you build a deck to your own level of gameplay. So Brandon, if you could, let everybody know what these numbers represent. So we've got the yellow with the black background, then we've got the black with the yellow background. So is there, as when you're building your deck, is there like a point value that these cards have? That you only have so many points to utilize, or is it just whatever you've got in your collection you can include, as long as you know they're legal cards? All right, here we got drone soldiers. Okay, these are pretty cool. It looks like this faction here is a bit more high tech than the other faction. So the first number is the attack, second number is the health. Okay, cool. Cards without stealth can't block this card. We got another character here, Private Miron Yakov. It's Yakov Smirnov! Yes, in Russia. In Russia, joke tells you. I could never understand why that guy was so popular. All right, so we've got another character who's an electrical engineer. Another question I would have, okay, well, there we go. Leader and territories must be unique per deck. Are there cards that are available to multiple factions? Kind of curious. Because I noticed the card backing is the same on each. So, system upgrades, these cards here. Calculated stagnation. 4 of those. You can mix factions if you want in your deck. Cool. Novell platform. Ooh, got an air drone. GR Hornet. That looks like that. 4 of those. Well, you've heard of fire in the hole. Well, we got fire in the field. Got interrogation facility here as well. Brandon, since we are getting close to taking a look at the booster, do you mind kind of giving folks a breakdown of what they can expect in the booster as far as I'm not sure if you're gonna have foil cards or if you're looking at, well, so many rare cards and commons, uncommons, things like that. Got a firewall upgrade, a couple of these. Some underwater mines. Undisclosed location. VX Wasp. Got another air unit here. And then we have our resource cards again. So we've got the power. Oh, a lot of power. A lot of power for these guys. Equipment. All right, so that's what we got. I didn't see any generic. Well, I think generic is basically represents anything. Kind of sure. So Brandon says in a pack you can expect at least one rank 3 or 4 tier card, 2 resource cards, and the rest are a mix. Each booster box will come with a single hot pack at random and a box topper. Well, I know what the box topper is. I'm not familiar with hot pack. What happens when you only really play your Magic the Gathering online as opposed to in person anymore? Right, so here we have an example of one of the boosters. So I have slashed through the back of this. Ah, entirely foil. Okay, thanks. Aha, we got another leader. Seeing this artwork on the website. This is one of, I think, one of the main leaders being advertised, I think, with the game so far. We've got another territory. Nuclear winter. Sweet. I got another character here. Private Sarah Yvette. WGMG. Overtime production. I notice it looks like we've got art on all of these cards. We've got overtime production. CX5 virus outbreak. I think that's hitting a little too close to home right now. See, I opened my mouth and there we go. There's a placeholder art. There is another character. He's a ninja. How about that? Ideal conditions. So that is weather. So Brandon, should I take a guess that there's only one weather card in effect at a time? So, yeah. Brandon says, yeah, the virus card is timely. Okay, if that's the word you want to use, that's okay. Ghost Manta, the Navy sub. We've seen the Wasp before. DX8, which is a drone dog. It's like a robotic dog. And it doesn't look like K9 either from Doctor Who. Targeted sabotage. Covert torture facility. So we had the interrogation facility. Now we've got the covert torture facility. I got another character here too. And then we've got equipment. And, well, look at that. Got a quick code. You want to learn how to play? Boom! Learn. So, legionofwar.com/learn. So, of course, I will be getting my hands on the rules myself to take a peek at. And I will be playing this with Cameron, my nephew, to check it out. So let me get these cards out of the way. So there you have a first look at Legion of War from Eclectic Nerds. As I mentioned, this game is for 2 to 8 players, ages 13 and up. You can play in 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on your player count. And it is coming to Kickstarter on May 1st. Of course, as we have more info, about Legion of War, I will bring it your way as well. So, Dan from No Enemies here is rocking on out. Good to see you, Dan. Stay out of trouble. He's always in trouble. Now Dan's just a rabble rouser. So, Matrix and the Madman are saying, "Hey, this looks pretty interesting." I know the Madman just chimed in. We were taking a look at Santa Monica on Thursday. I was showing how to play and doing a review, and I think the Madman put it on the list of games to pick up. It's a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. So anyway, there you have it. Thank you, Brandon, for popping in and hanging out in chat so you could answer some of our questions about Legion of War. And like I said, look forward to a lot more coverage as we get closer to the Kickstarter and once the Kickstarter does launch. Brandon and I will probably team up to do an interview as well. So you can look forward to that on the horizon. So Matrix is saying, "Oh, I'm going to that website. Check it out. I want to check this out." Cool deal. Anyway, that is pretty much it for tonight's show. As I mentioned, I was going to share the winners of the 2 PDFs of Warhammer 40K. Bam! Roleplay. I keep forgetting that Cubicle 7 added roleplay into the name, because the Ulysses Spiel edition was just Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory. This is Warhammer 40K Roleplay Wrath and Glory. So this is really, really a complete revamp of the rules. And I reviewed the Ulysses Spiel edition and I liked it. I know the rules were a mess. I am not going to argue that. I mentioned it in my review. But the actual background and there are a lot of good ideas. I have not taken a peek at this new edition just yet. I'm curious. I'm sure my friends over at Cubicle 7 really have cleaned this up. I'm curious to see what kind of changes they made in the core mechanics, because I think they did make some. Anyway, so the winners are, and all you had to do was simply comment on one of my videos and you were in the running. And I don't know why all of a sudden the camera just shook. I think Smokey just walked by off the tripod. Thanks. Anyway, all you had to do was swing by, comment on one of our videos, and you were in the running. So our winners are Liam Fishwick and Collection THX 1138. Those are your two winners. I've got PDF copies of Warhammer 40K Roleplay Wrath and Glory for you. All you gotta do is simply shoot me an email. It is jeffmaclear@thegaminggang.com. Find it right down there. You can find it on the Gaming Gang everywhere too. So, and just let me know the email that I can send that to you. I know I've had people go, well, how can you make sure that it's really the winner who contacts me? Usually I know it's who the winner is, because they'll say something about the show or something like that. So it's like, yeah, it's not just somebody who caught the show and all of a sudden they're like, oh, hey, I'm gonna score me a free game. All right, so Matrix says they love Warhammer, great game. So, other thing I do want to mention is that I have a poll going on right now over on Twitter, and I'm asking one of 3 role-playing games that you would like to see me cover more. And first one is Mongoose Traveler, the Traveler 2nd Edition from Mongoose. Also, Storyteller System, which is from the Onyx Path, or I can say Onyx Path Publishing. Or Numenera, which is from Monty Cook Games. So if you get a chance, I'm running this for a few days. Put your vote in, because I am looking to reach out to a few more RPG companies. I don't want to do tons of RPG stuff, even though I love RPG stuff. It's just very, very long and entailing to review some of this stuff. I want to keep, we already have Cubicle 7. We've got Wizards of the Coast sending the D&D stuff. Paizo has sent some Pathfinder and Starfinder stuff. I don't know what's going on now, especially with, the shipment stopping and all the craziness with the pandemic. But Chaosium with Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest. So I don't want to get too many companies that are jumping on board. But I do want to bring in at least one more, kind of show what they've got available. So if you get a chance, go vote on Twitter. I'm going to run it for like 3 days. Anyway, so tomorrow I will be reviewing The Crew from Cosmos Games. On Wednesday, I will be interviewing Stephen Bonacore from Stronghold Games, as well as reviewing Tiny Town's Fortune from AEG. Unless Stephen talks a lot. So then we might not have the review. But Stephen already pointed out he's going to try to keep it to about 15 minutes. Then on Thursday, I will be paging through and reviewing City of Brass from Frog God Games. This is the Swords and Wizardry edition. So that is it for this time out. As I like to point out, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. If you do, be sure to ring that little bell, because it will not only notify you of when the Daily Dope streams live, Mondays through Thursdays, it will also let you know when I upload standalone videos as well. And of course, those of you who were watching live tonight, thank you very much. Always appreciate folks hanging out, keeping me company. I don't feel like just a dork stalking into a camera. But if you don't have an opportunity to watch, because I know there are some folks who are not in the US, they're not in North America, who watch this show, so sometimes it's on like wee hours of the morning. If you watch the show at any time, even if you're watching on Memorex, I had a soft spot in my heart for anybody who takes time out to watch the show. So I will be back tomorrow. As I mentioned, I will be reviewing The Crew. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday night / Tuesday morning. And of course, until I see you next, be smart, stay safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. And of course, if you want to catch up on past episodes of The Daily Dope, check out this playlist. And if you'd like to see what YouTube's recommending you take a peek at from the channel, just give a click right over here. Of course, I'm Jeff McAleer, and once again, thank you very much for watching.